afternoon, guys. This is Tina. How are you doing today? In this video, I'm gonna show you the annotation Autowiring. This is also the way we are using to ask Spring to do the dependency injection for us. And in Spring, there are three ways to dependency injection, right? And like constructor-based, component-based, and property-based. And probably you already see other documentations which is using Autowiring, okay? And Autowiring is also used in bin Autowiring, which is the same as which is ask Spring to do the automatic dependency injection for us, okay? So let's start. In order to do Autowiring, we have to using the annotation config. You can using context annotation config or using the context component scan. But in this demo, I'm gonna show you using the Java config to do that. Okay, same thing. Okay, first I'm gonna create a package so we can separate different things. Okay. Autowiring this annotation, okay? And we first create an app config, okay? And here we're using configuration, and we're using component scan. Component scan will ask the Spring, the bin factory, to instantiate the bins for us and also to do the Autowiring, which means it will also check if you have annotation Autowiring used. If you have, then it will do the dependency injection for you automatically. And this one, we're gonna scan the Autowiring. Okay, scan for this one, and for the remaining, you do not need to do anything. Next one is okay, let's create a customer service. Okay, and when we want to Spring to maintain the bins for us, we have to using the component-based annotation. Okay, and we have another one which is the customer customer DL, okay? And this one we also using we can using repository. You can also using components for all of them. Just based on the name, I choose a different component-based annotation, okay? And here we need to have a private customer DL. I select the right version, right? Customer DL. And then we create a main, okay? And here we're using main. And we will do exactly the same thing as we did before. Application context equals new what? Annotation. Then here we're using app config.class, right? And here we still get the customer service. Customer service equals context get bin. Oh, I'm very familiar with this one now. Customer service, okay. Customer service class. System out customer service get. Don't have a getter. Let's add a getter, okay. Let's add a getter first. We don't add a setter now, okay? Add a getter. And when we run now, what's gonna happen? Can you predict? When we run now, I have this one. I have customer service using service, and I have customers using repository. When we run now, you are seeing none. Okay, you are seeing none. Because by default, Java config is using, oh, this is a main, not this one. I have to run this one. There's no way he can inject a bin for us. You are seeing now, okay? And we can do is First way is we add let me check one thing, okay? Here I add a setter, okay? When we run now, it is still getting none because it doesn't know how to inject one for us. You are still getting none. In order for the Spring to inject, we have, in this case, we have to using auto-wired annotation, except for constructor-based. So first, let me using the first case, okay? First case, which is used very often because it's easy but not good, which is called Autowiring. Okay, this one is called a property-based dependency injection. You add Autowiring on top of the property, which means you ask Spring when create the customer service, you ask Spring to inject a bin of a customer DL for you. Okay, let's run it. Now you will see. Okay, inject successfully, and we know the setter is not being used because when you're using auto-wired here, Spring gonna using reflection API to inject a bin for you. This is not good. Because you're gonna have the problem, which is a cyclic problem. Suppose you have a class A depends on the B, and you all of them using the property-based dependency injection, okay? And then you have the B depends on C and the C depends on A, and then you have a cyclic problem, okay? And another thing is when using this Autowiring here, your kind of like JUnit test case is gonna be hard to do testing because when you have the Autowiring here, which means you don't have a setter, you don't have constructor, and when you want test methods of customer service, you have to learn another technique, which is a Mockito, to mock a customer deal. But when you're using setter or using constructor-based dependency injection, it's very easy to have a JUnit test. You can just call the methods to inject another bin, okay? So this is the first case, which you add Autowiring on top of the property. And there's another case, which is we can using the setter. We can add Autowiring here. When you add Autowiring on top of the setter methods, this is called a setter-based dependency injection, and it will also work. Run. Okay, it will call your setter and you inject. Setter-based dependency injection is not widely used because first you have to create another methods, okay? Second, when we have a setter, this one is marked as a public, then it breaks the encapsulation, okay? Because as a programmer, you can create a new customer, inject there, and that customer is not maintained, that customer DL is not maintained by the Spring bin, right? Spring, right? So when we're using setters, we claims it breaks encapsulation. And but the setters has one benefit. It doesn't have a cyclic problem. Cyclic, okay, mean the circle, okay, the problem. This is one. The last one I'm gonna show you, which is the best solution. Okay, it's called the constructor-based. I forgot since which version, because once you have your customized constructor, your default non-argument constructor is not available, right? And in this case, when Spring try to instantiate the instance for customer service, it must to using this one. And probably since Spring 4.3, for constructor-based dependency injection, you don't need to add Autowiring here. First, let's add Autowiring, okay? And we can have customized constructor. It will call this one to instantiate customer service, and it's gonna inject a customer DAO for you. See, customer inject, and I think when you only has one construct, you don't need to have Autowiring because it's gonna do the dependency injection for you automatically. Probably since Spring 4.3. It will call this one, and it will, even though you don't have Autowiring. Okay, constructor-based dependency injection or Autowiring is considered to be the best. First, no matter what, you're gonna have a constructor, right? And another reason is it's very easy to do the JUnit test because you have the constructor. It's different from this property-based. There's no need to using reflection API and no need to using Mockito to inject one custom DL. You just create one and then inject, okay, stop or mock, you create and call this customer service and pass one to do the dependency injection. And I have another case I never tested before. Suppose I have a default constructor here, okay? And here I will using default. In this case, if I don't add Autowiring, let's see what's gonna happen. I expect it's gonna call this one. Okay, if we don't have auto, it's gonna using this one, so we will get a none. That's my predicate. Okay, not sure if it's correct. It's correct. So if you have more than one Spring by default, it's gonna call the default one. But if I using Autowiring here, I think it's gonna using the customized in this case. Customized. Oh my, I feel I'm very smart. So when we use constructor-based dependency injection or Autowiring, if you have more than one constructor, then you have to using Autowiring to tell Spring which one should I instantiate, okay? Which constructor should I use to instantiate our beans? So this is how we using Autowiring, and there's one more thing I'm gonna talk in next video. Autowiring gonna using the byType. Let me show you, okay? We can give a name of the bin, right? Suppose this name I call the cust.dl, which means bin factory will hold the bin customer DL, but the name, bin name is called cust.dl. And in our customer service, we always using customer DL, right? But for this case, it still will Autowiring successfully. It was still Autowiring successfully because by default it's gonna using byType. But the problem is if we have two instances of customer DL, two bins of customer DL, what's gonna happen? Okay, if you wanted to know the answer, watch my next video. Okay, that's it for this video. We introduced Autowiring, this annotation, and we also introduced 3 ways to do the Autowiring or 3 ways to do the dependency injection: property-based, setter-based, and constructor-based. Okay, and when using Autowiring, make sure you add the component-based annotation on all the bins you ask Spring to instantiate for you. Okay, and also make sure you have a component scan to do the to ask Spring to tell Spring where are those classes. It's the same if you are using XML, just change using context component scan. Okay, anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Bye bye.